Welcome back to your newest favorite podcast, Beards and Bitcoins, where bitboy and jchains get together each week to talk about crypto and things happening in the community. They will bring you some special guests and giveaways, so make sure you're subscribed. For all show-related news, you can find the guys on various social media outlets. Everything is listed on the official show Twitter account, @BeardsBitcoins. Now, without further introduction, two dudes that have beards, like Bitcoins, and want to talk to you about both, bitboy and jchains.
Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite podcast, episode 24 of Beards and Bitcoins. I am your host, bitboy. This is your other co-host, jchains. What is going on, jchains?
What is up? What is up, everybody? Hope you're having yourself a great week. It's been just a couple days since we saw you last. I hope you enjoyed the news episode. We are super excited about today's episode. This is just a regular old Beards and Bitcoins, get down to the nitty gritty, hanging out with the boys. We got Stash on today.
The Stash in the house. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, man. Stash in the house, but dude, what's up with the no beard? I mean, can we let you on the podcast here?
I don't, I kind of thought about that. I mean, I think I qualify. Like, you guys can't have beards without mustaches.
Nope, that's true. That's true. And that's a pretty sweet.
That kind of like.
What's up?
And look at this glorious stash, man. How could you not love that?
But all I want to focus on right now is not the stash. I want to focus on right below your chin. You have the world's smallest beard right underneath that.
Yes, there it is.
It is. I got a little
soul patch. Got a little soul patch going on.
That's because I got soul, brother.
Oh, love it. All right,
solid.
We'll let you pass. We'll let you pass. So,
mini beard. That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So we're gonna talk to Stash about some education stuff today. That's one of his big things in the crypto space, and who knows where the conversation may go to. We all like to talk, so we'll have to see where it ends up. Stash is a good friend of mine and jchains in the SatoshiDroppers, our little group on Twitter that we've been in for quite a while. And what's the status of the SatoshiDroppers website right now, Stash?
I'm glad you asked, BitBoy.
How about that?
So yeah, we've been I've been working on this website for the SatoshiDroppers, which is like BitBoy said is our kind of our creator group here. And it's comprised of a lot of really cool people, awesome, friends. And we're making our own website that kind of like aggregates all of our stuff into like one big pile of stuff. So you guys could go there. You guys can check all of us out, see what we're really all about. We're going to have bios of each of the Satoshi droppers on there with links to all their socials, and then a big social wall so you can see all the content coming out all the time. And hopefully some other stuff up there, like, combined projects that we're going to be working on, and ways to get us to work with you if you want to work with Satoshi Droppers.
Do we have the Beards and Bitcoins up on the Satoshi Droppers?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's all we need. All I need to know.
It's going to link everything. So it links your basically three platforms we're going with is like Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So and then we can also link RSS feeds too for websites. But in general, I think hitting all of those, we get everybody's stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm super excited about it. First of all, I've seen the website already, and it's very high quality. Love what you've done with it. But a lot of people don't know this. A little Satoshi Droppers group, we're going to be running stuff here in the next couple of years. We've got some Twitter accounts that are not in the Satoshi Droppers that I would say have first movers advantage, have kind of been in the crypto Twitter and the crypto community a little bit longer. But we've got some big power players in the Satoshi Droppers. I'm really excited to see where that's going to develop. And speaking of Satoshi Droppers, jchains, you got a little meetup you're doing here pretty soon, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Actually, it's it's tomorrow night right now, but when you're listening this, it's tonight, LA. So I'll speak more about it when we get to our shout outs. But yeah, downtown LA, Boomtown Brewery, 6 to 8 p.m. with Crypto Wendy O. Stash maybe's going to be there.
CryptoStache will be there, man, with the stash on point.
You can always count. You can always count on CryptoStache to be there. I tell you, I landed in LA when I went out to shoot my pilot for Crypto Cake, and Stash was like, "I'm on the way." He was the first one to come. He came and knocked on my hotel door. I was like, "Whoa, Stash!"
I did,
and I got a special Stash coin. I got it here in my office somewhere. I have to find it, but
yeah, I got this is one of them right here.
Special edition.
This is my Stash coin, but it's limited edition. Yeah, I give these. They're actual wooden tokens that are numbered. I only made 41 of these tokens, and I give them out to special people, like when I meet them or something. They do something nice for me or whatever it may be, and so yeah, I give these out to like special friends and stuff. So they're definitely super limited edition.
That is
Very
I think
cool.
I may have to give you one, jchains. We'll see, man. Maybe you've burned one. Maybe you burned it.
Ooh, my man.
Ooh,
We'll see. We'll see. We'll
having a
see.
token burn. Nice. Well, cool. Well, guys, let's move on to our Twitter shout out. Our monarchtoken.io crypto Twitter shout out, where we shout out people on crypto Twitter that are doing big things. Brought to you by Monarch Token, which we talked about the Celsius partnership last week. Always doing big things with Monarch Token. And really the wallet as well, or Monarch Wallet is doing big things. So you guys make sure you check them out. You can find all their social media handles from their website, monarchtoken.io. So here we go. Twitter shout out. Who's gonna go first? We even talk about that. How about
let's let Stash
go ahead,
go.
Stash. You go first. I'll go.
All right,
I'll go last.
I'll do my Twitter shout out first. So this is actually one of my followers. He's not like a fellow content creator or project manager or someone who is big in the space. But I got this tag from him the other day, and I thought it was really cool. So he says, CryptoStache, I was lucky enough to land one of your engine beam stashes and sent it to my son's wallet to commemorate and indelibly record the day of his first shave. Thanks for helping us make a fun memory. And so I don't know if you guys have seen, but like I teamed up with Engine Coin about a month or two back, and I minted my own coin. It's called a Stash coin, Stash Loot. And so I gave out these Stash Loots in a competition, and he got one, and he sent it to his son as a cool commemoration of his son's first shave. And so in response, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Glad to be part of your memory. And this was from John Jacobson. John Jacobson, my follower. It's at JJacobsShibi. And so I sent him another Stash Loot. So he would have one, and his son would have one.
Oh, very cool. That's a good story.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a
it ties in beard, shaving. He had to shave, but
and we're in the parlor, as you can see
right now.
Yep.
That's a feel good story. That's a good Twitter shout out right there.
Yeah, I thought so.
BitBoy, what you got, dog?
No, I said I'm going last. I want to hear.
All right, lay it on his chains.
Let's hear it.
All right, so I'm gonna shout out my boy Mike Measy real quick.
Oh, I love Mike Measy.
Mike Measy, man, he's always fun to chat with. We've been doing some Snapchat videos back and forth, so he's a fun guy. Also, I'm doing a double. I'm gonna do a double. The other part is what you talked about earlier to Crypto Wendio, and then anybody that's out there in LA, Stash, you part of it. Anybody else that's going to be at the meetup tomorrow night, Boomtown Brewery in downtown LA, 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hi. I think there's going to be like giveaways and stuff too. Crypto Wendio's got a bunch of stuff on her stuff, and you can find. I'm gonna bring a crypto cake hat. Look, I got one right here. Ooh, nice. These are limited edition, coveted crypto cake hats. Crypto cake TV coming.
Oh yeah, they say soon. We'll see. What's going on
things are they're still turning.
Things are turning. Things are definitely
the wheels are turning from what I hear. We'll see. You never count those chickens till they're hatched, though.
I mean, here's the thing.
We'll hopefully talk later.
Could you imagine launching anything in this market?
It's hard.
It's hard, but they tell us they're making progress and moving ahead. I was in a real tricky spot with Crypto Cake because I found out that this was a thing that was going on after I had already put my house up for sale, and I didn't know if I was going to be like moving out to LA soon or what. But now like we went ahead and settled and have a rental here in Atlanta, and so I'm like more settled and stable. So now it's just like whenever it happens and it's good. If they delay it a few more months or whatever the case may be, I'm going to be good either way. So real excited to still be involved with it, and maybe if the markets are turning around right now, then it might be some good timing, but still yet to be seen. So, all right. Well, we look forward to the updates. So what you got? What you got for? Okay. So I'm going to shout out a guy who makes a lot of really funny memes on Twitter is Crypto Fungus. So a lot of you guys, well, I should also double that by shouting out money_Alotta. That's ALOTTA. So got to kind of give you the backstory. So Money Alotta, he makes banners for people on Twitter, and they're phenomenal. Like his graphic design level is above, in my opinion, just about anything else I've seen on, in terms of creativity and execution. It's unbelievable, some of the banners he's made. And so that's not a shot at Stash, who's also a graphic designer. But I know he's sitting there like...
It looks great. It's awesome.
I know he's sitting there like, I know I can do it. But anyways,
it was a great job. I said something about it. I complimented it. I thought it was awesome.
So,
all right, Stash, how about you make one for me and then we'll put them head to head.
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing down there.
So Money A Lot made me this banner, and it was the results of it were incredible, absolutely phenomenal. It's me wearing a BitBoy suit, and it looks way better than the real BitBoy suit I wore at World CryptoCon on Halloween. So, but I saw it, and like I immediately knew, like, okay, this is really awesome. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna use it. He gave me a little logo with it, really cool. But I immediately knew that like grown man in spandex superhero suit is probably going to get memed on Twitter. Like I kind of knew it was coming. And so CryptoFungus made this meme today of me dressed as BitBoy with the Justice League, and it is so funny. I saw it and I laughed so hard. I showed it to my kids. I showed it to my wife. There's been some other memes that have came out of it, but that was my favorite one. So shout out to him for making that, and shout out to Money A Lot for making the original artwork. You guys can see it. Just go to my Twitter at bitboy_hodl and check out my my banner. It's also, I've made it my YouTube banner too. So, and then I made a funny little
cool.
intro with the meme today on my video. So
yeah, that picture is super cool, man. He did a great job.
yeah, phenomenal.
That's super cool.
So
good shout outs.
Yeah, good shout outs. We should shout out our own shout outs. Shout outs. Y'all did a good job on your shout outs. Okay, guys, so let's get into it. Let's start talking here. So, Stash, if you could tell us a little bit about, what made you decide to kind of get into the education side of crypto? Because, there's a lot of different arenas when it comes to cryptocurrency in terms of content creation. There is trading, obviously. There's mining. There's news. And then there's education. And you have done, I believe some news videos and some different stuff on your channel. But mainly it's education. So, like I said, what led you into that? And, and things like that. Sorry, my daughter's yelling in the background. So
no worries. Yeah, man. In general, I kind of got started in the scene in late 2013. And that's when I first bought into my first Bitcoin. I had seen it kind of prior to that. And then I kind of just sat on it because I was like, I knew I had to get in it. I knew that it was something that I was going to be interested in. I knew it was the future when I really learned about it. But like nobody I knew, nobody I had ever talked to, all the business connects that I was, familiar with and people I worked with on a daily, nobody talked about it. No one was ever saying anything about Bitcoin. I wasn't, me personally, I wasn't in those circles where I had friends that actually I could talk to about it. And so I kind of just sat on it for a couple of years. And then 2016 came around. And that's when I was like, hey, I want to see what's going on with my Bitcoin. And I kind of looked back in the scene and, I realized things had gotten way like a lot more robust in the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. When I bought, and it was right before this crazy bear market that we had in 2014. And I just kind of hodled through that whole thing. I didn't do nothing. I just kind of sat on my little, amount of Bitcoin in Coinbase. And then, in 2016, I was like, well, it'd be great if I could have, try and maybe get some of my friends involved in this and see what they think and get their opinions. And so I tried, and they were all like, you're an idiot. It's a scam. I don't want to hear about this. And no one ever wanted to talk to me about it. So I just kind of felt alone. And so I was like, well, maybe if I could like just make a blog or something where I can kind of talk about my adventures, the same things I am learning about, that I'm learning about. And, from my own perspective, just as kind of not even, anything particularly significant, just a hobby. That's really where it started. As I just started this really simple website. I didn't have a plan of like, oh, I'm going to be a crazy content influencer or educator or any of these things. It was just an outlet for me in general because I didn't have anybody to talk to or relate with about cryptocurrency. And me being a tech guy, always, been in the tech world for most of my life. I just didn't really have a lot of friends that were particularly in the tech world. I'm also a musician, so a lot of my friends are musicians or artists and people of that nature. And so I just, I use it as a way to kind of get going. So I started the blog in the beginning of 2017, the CryptoStache.com. And, I was like, well, mustache kind of goes with my mustache. I thought it was kind of funny and came up with a logo. Obviously, like you said, I'm a graphic designer. So I do websites. I run a web design and development company here in Long Beach. And so I had all these skills that like made it really easy for me to do something of pretty high quality. And so I just started posting my stories. I didn't even have a Twitter at that time. I didn't have a YouTube. I didn't have a Facebook page for anything. Like I wasn't really promoting in that kind of way. It was this website. And so anytime I talk to friends about it or any of my clients for my web design business, I would say, oh, I have a blog. You go look at my blog. I kind of talk about that stuff there. And if you really go back into my blog, you can see like a lot of the first posts were not as focused on crypto. I talked about other things and gaming and some other stuff too.
Hold on. There's other stuff than crypto?
Yeah. There's other things out there, man. There is. I know we're stuck in our little crypto bubble, but it's out there. It's out there. But crypto has definitely like taken over a large part of my life, and I've moved and gravitated more and more towards it over these last couple of years. So yeah, early 2017, I started the website and started doing articles, and then all of a sudden, I was answering questions from friends every once in a while, but then all of a sudden I started getting strangers, people who I didn't know asking me questions, posting comments. And, hitting me up through the website, sending me emails. And I was like, well, maybe I can help these people too. And just they can follow my journey and maybe they'll learn something from my mistakes or learn something from my triumphs and from my successes in the industry. And so I still at that point didn't really have much direction. And so I just started creating a little bit more content, kind of going through some basic, stuff as far as like, well, what is Bitcoin? What is a wallet? How do these things work? Because I like one of my strengths is being able to relay technical information in a very simplistic form that a lot of people can understand very easily. So that's really where I kind of come from. And that I think is what has driven my desire to help educate people. I like being able to, relay those things in a way people understand. And so I kind of started moving towards that direction a little bit more and more during 2017. I started, and then the end of 2017, I actually held my first in-person Bitcoin beginners class. I had 25 students. I rented a space, and we got a bunch of people that were in their computers, and I had a presentation. I'm there in my cool like tie and stuff, and
always looking cool,
looking sharp, man. And so that was kind of like that was really the kind of kickoff of me understanding and realizing like I want to help educate people in this space and be as helpful as I can in regards to understanding technology, because as far as you see out there in crypto Twitter and these other spaces, people who are already in the space, there's so many people who aren't and should understand some of this technology, because this is the future. This is where we're going. No matter what people say or what you see in the headlines or what you hear from major bankers or your buddies that don't believe it, think it's a scam, 100% financial and currency wise, this is where we're going as a global economy. It's without a doubt. And so I just try and help people who maybe don't get that to get that a little bit better. So that was the beginning stash.
Well, that's really good, man. It's one of the things that I think is going to be really kind of pivotal to really get more of a mass adoption. Because I remember when I first started, when I got into crypto, the learning curve for me was just like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. And so like there is so much, there's a bunch of stuff you got to learn if you want to get into it. And so, hats off to you, man, for doing that education stuff, because it is important. It's how people are going to get into it and do it without getting scammed, or losing their crypto.
Right. And that's what I try and help out with, so the content I do now, now we've kind of gone through this huge bull market that we had in the end of 2017. I still wasn't really on Twitter or YouTube or doing things. And so I kind of missed that as far as following wise and people kind of really seeing my stuff, because I wasn't really in the community as much then. I wasn't really in the community aspect, but I was still just doing my own thing on my website. My website was huge. It was popular. It was popping off. I get really great search engine result rankings and organic traffic. So a lot of my articles have been read, 100, 200,000 times.
Wow.
But in general, I wasn't a very, community focused person at that time. And that's one thing I think that I really am proud of in 2018 is that I kind of found more community. I found you guys, the SatoshiDroppers, honestly, were what drove me to be more community focused and to be more involved in the cryptocurrency community at large, versus just kind of being a standalone guy who was, doing his website articles. And so I moved into video in 2018, late, I don't know, May or June-ish. May I think is when I really started my YouTube channel, started doing content. And so now and then I started a podcast recently. I moved one of my my video live stream show that's been pretty popular called Stash My Crypto into a podcast. And like I said, I'm just really trying to find better ways to be helpful to people, to give more value back to people. So these people, that are new to the space, or even people who have been in the space for a long time, can get a different, fresh perspective. I try and be as impartial as I can. So I do a lot of project reviews, and one of my popular ones is my hardware review series. I've been reviewing a lot of hardware wallets lately, and yeah, so I just try and find the best of the best, and then drive people towards it and say, hey, here's what I think is the really great stuff that makes it easy to do crypto or to learn it, or these articles that I've written to guide you step by step on how to do things.
Yeah, it's good. I think, man, so creating content in crypto is weird. So when you first start, like it really is. Like I look back, and it's just, you know what? It's like anything else in life. If it's anything that you're doing that you're good at, you always look back at when you started and are like, God, I can't believe anybody watched or listened to me because I didn't even know anything. Like when I first started my channel, like I've been in crypto since 2012. Well, just like you, was not ever involved in the community until 2017. And the thing about it is like I knew enough to start a channel and talk news stories, but man, when I look back at what I didn't know. And through making content, it pushed me to know more and to learn more and to research more. And, I was talking to a guy recently who's in the space, and I was just blown away by how little he knows. Like I'm not going to out him and say who it was, but
there are a lot of them out there, man.
Ooh, I was just sitting there like, man, this guy hardly knows anything. And, there are people listening and following him and stuff like that. And, I don't want to down anybody, but the education piece is just so important, and you can't learn it overnight. You have to have resources to go to and learn over time, whether it's through watching videos or whether it's through going and reading, I find a lot of my information out, the way I research is by reading stories, news stories, and then when there's things in the stories like I don't quite grasp, I go and I research those further until I can really put it together, kind of like, context clues almost. But, it really is amazing how little. And I'm not saying, like, if you compare me to obviously, like, the stash even. If you compare me to a lot of people, like, there's a lot of people in crypto that are way smarter and know way more than I know. But, at the same time, I feel like I know a good bit about crypto. But you always got to push yourself to learn more.
Yeah. Well, the thing is about crypto, it's such a new
new
space.
Nobody's an expert.
Nobody's really an expert, and it changes so quickly too that there's always more room to learn and to grow, and that's what I kind of do with my content as well. When I'm doing these articles or I'm researching for something, like someone will ask me a question I don't know, I'll tell them straight up like I don't know, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go put time into that. I'm going to research it for you, and I'm going to put a sweet video out or an article out that shows it step by step and exactly what I think about it or what it is or my technical perspective of it. And so that's what I really enjoy doing. And so there's a lot of people out there that do similar things as me. I think that, hopefully people enjoy my particular view of things. They love my mustache and, and want to follow the content stuff that I'm doing. So it's a learning journey for me too. I want to learn together with my community. I don't want to be talking at people. I want us to learn together as a community that we're creating. So we have that. And that's one of the biggest things I learned last year is about creating community within this cryptocurrency space is actually one of my huge, goals as well. So I run a local meetup here in Long Beach, California with my buddy Gaston. We both actually started cryptocurrency meetups at the same time in 2017. And we're doing it in the same city, and we just teamed up. And he's an amazing guy. He totally, is into crypto, very knowledgeable. And then we have two of our other buddies, Sebastian and Mike, that help us with the meetup. And it's been great. We have a lot of people come to it. And so, but the community aspect is I think, a huge thing and really growing and learning together as individuals, but also as people who work within a community. I think it's a lot of fun.
You bring up a really good point when you say that, when you guys, are doing the same thing at the same time. There's a lot of people that we are kind of all doing the same thing. And in a normal business, you would consider that competition. But in this, I wouldn't consider that competition with anything, because the more videos someone watches, the more they learn. The more content you create, the more content BitBoy creates, the more content anyone creates, the more there's out there, the more people can learn from. So in an essence, there's really no like competition per se. It's all just, I can learn from you, you learn from me, and let's teach everyone else what's going on. I think
I want to live in that utopia, and that's what I firmly believe. Unfortunately, not everybody believes that. And in any industry, I think that like right now we're really early in this industry, and because of that, there is a little bit probably more buddy stuff going on. But it may get cutthroat here at some point where you start seeing things being more business-like and business-oriented, and I think we've seen that here and there. But hopefully we can all continue to work together in this space and grow it and really change the paradigm, because that's why I'm here. I'm not here just because I want a quick buck. I'm not here because I want a ton of followers. I want to be famous. I'm not here because, mass adoption is great. I definitely want to see more mass adoption. I'm here because I want to see a real legit change in our system.
Yeah,
that is the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why I love Bitcoin. That's the reason why I got involved in the first place, because it's a political statement. And it's a statement of equality, and that is the reason why I continue to pursue it. And there's undertones of those kind of ideals that I hold, and that I think Satoshi Nakamoto also held when he created Bitcoin. And so I try and follow that and push that element as well as much as I can.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I think we're all you have guys that are in it strictly because they like the technology, because they're nerdy, I guess, but you got people that are in it just because, they want the money. But, I'm similar to you. I mean, I really believe in the idea of cryptocurrency and the movement.
The ethos of crypto.
The ethos of crypto, right? But not
what a good word.
Not the project ethos, though. That's a different story.
No.
That's a web-based wallet, a Monarch competitor. I'm not big on it.
Which I did a review of.
I did too. I did a review of it, and actually did really well. It was one of my first videos to actually get break a few thousand views. Then I learned a little more about the web wallet aspect of it, and it's not as secure, and it hasn't done very well. But back to the point of, talking about business being cutthroat, and I agree, like, jchains is right in terms of right now, it benefits us all to help each other, because the only way we're going to grow as a space is to bring other people in, and collectively we can do that. However, this will not be the case for much longer. Once we have another bull run, the influx of people that will come in, at that point, the entire game will change, and this buddy thing won't necessarily be the case. If you take crypto YouTube and compare it to other niches in crypto or on YouTube, like for me, a channel, I got 7,000 subscribers. I can do a review of something, a sponsored review or sponsored content, and I can get like at least $500 in equivalent in cryptocurrency for doing one review. Now I don't do a ton of them, but I can get that much, right? Try going to the fitness niche on YouTube and having 7,000 subscribers and getting $20 for a video. We're such. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I didn't know that, man. I'm not a big YouTuber guy. I've not done a YouTube channel like that in that respect before, so. I just assumed that, a lot of the other people were getting paid, some similar amounts, but I guess not.
Well, in other...
I don't do a lot of pay-per-views either, so it's...
In other niches, I'm talking about in other niches, it's really hard because they're so oversaturated, like most YouTube niches, unless you have 1 million subscribers, you're not making much money. 100,000 in a lot of niches, it isn't a lot. And so we had my wife on the show early on, maybe episode 3 of Beards and Bitcoins. Yeah, because, it's really funny because she's a mom blogger, and she's been a mom blogger for years and years and years. And what inspired her to start doing that was watching YouTube videos or following blogs of really what would be considered the first generation of mom bloggers, right? The first generation of, and not necessarily, mom bloggers probably overblown, but photography bloggers, mom bloggers, cooking bloggers, and things like that. And she watched the space at the very beginning when it was new and saw like the impact that these people had was not that great. But now, 10 years later, right? 10 years down the road after these other blogs have been around, these women are millionaires. They have their own fashion lines, their own cooking lines, their own cookware lines. Their own artwork, their own craft lines, their own yarn, like they got so many different things. And she kind of watched that from the ground floor and compares that to what she's seeing in crypto, which we're all new. There's less than 100 content creators that are known in the space. YouTube, there might be a few more than that, but give or take about 100-ish. Like if you go and you look at the, top lists, like they're all the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to see what this space is going to be in a few years. And I tell my followers, you know, like, I know some of you guys want to accumulate, but I'm ready for that bull run because I'm ready to get the viewers up, you know? Because there's not just a bull run on price, there's a bull run on interest that coincides with that.
Yeah,
that's a good
and
point.
that's what I'm more concerned with too. Is I'm looking for the bull run of interest. I want a bull run of interest, man. I want to see more people being interested in it, wanting to learn about it, you know, needing some help, and me being able to help more people. Like, really, that's the reason why I'm here. I want to help more people to understand this. And so, you know, price is great. I'd love to see, you know, some of my moon bags shoot up and 2,000%. So I could be $1 million overnight. That would be amazing. But that's not why I'm here. It's not why I ever came. And that's not ever going to be my purpose. And if that does happen, I'm still going to be doing educational stuff. I'm still going to be, you know, trying to create community. I'm not going to go jet set the world and just leave everyone high and dry.
You gonna be doing Ty Lopez videos on the personal private jet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you get to a certain point. Yeah, right. You get to a certain point, and like I would love to go out. Like one of the things, my goals for 2019 is to do more speaking engagements. I want to be a panel moderator at blockchain conferences and crypto conferences, or be a panel guest. You know, I do really well on stage. I've been a musician for a long time, and so I would love to be able to get more into that side of things as well, and being able to present things a little bit more. Like I said, I'm working on some more course material. So whereas I was doing a in-person course, I'm still kind of doing that every once in a while. But I want to get some actual, you know, courses online where they're more of like a chopped up thing where it takes you through a whole process of learning. And I had one before, but it's a little bit outdated, and I just kind of retired it here not too long ago. But you know, yeah, I think that you're right. We're really early in the space, and everything we do is a stepping stone to, you know, what's going to come next, and who knows what that's going to be. I think we're all very early, and you're right. There's such a small handful of people doing this, and with the community we're creating right now is invaluable in my opinion. You know, with the SatoshiDroppers, you know, the friends that I've made in that group are people that, you know, I hope to be friends with forever. You know, these are you guys are amazing people and motivated and intelligent and diverse. You know, and so that is a huge boon, I think. And so that's one of the things I always try to push to people too, is that, you know, we're creating a community here. Don't just come in and try and, you know, look for price action and maybe to be a quick millionaire. Try and look at it from the actual perspective of what this is going to change in the world and how we can work together to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The movement is going to be incredible. The community is incredible. It's going to get better. There's definitely some downsides to the community. You know, there's definitely some haters out there and stuff like that. But
well, I mean, quality community.
Yeah. The what?
Not attracting a bunch of trolls because they got nothing better to do with their life, but go around on social media with cartoon characters as their avatars, talking mad shit.
Wait, hold on. I have a cartoon character as my avatar. You need to relax.
Well, hey, feel free to change it, man. You should change it to your sweet new bitboy, like you know, Photoshop guy. Well, that's a cool looking, you know.
It's true,
it's a good Abby. It's a good Abby.
When people say that, right? When people say like, "Oh, it's a cartoon avatar," and you're listening to their trading advice and stuff, the implication behind that, and if you're in the community, you know this, is that, you know, they're a person that hides behind that avatar and can't ever really be held accountable. However, while my avatar is a cartoon character, I'm very out in the open. And
no, you are exactly. Yeah, that's a big difference. You're right. Most of these people they don't dox themselves. You know, no one knows who they are. They're not on video ever, and so that's the kind of line. You know, when I got into the scene, I decided I didn't want to be that person. You know, I'm Shay. I'm the Stash. That's what I go by. My name's Shay Newkirk. You can find out all about me. Like, you know, you search me on YouTube or Google, and I'm there. I come up. You get to see me, you interact with me. You know, you're talking with me. I'm a real person. I want to interact with real people as well. And, you know, hey, you know, to each his own. I'm not saying that every person with a cartoon avatar is out to get you. But in general, I think you're right. I think a lot of times people go that route because they don't want to be held accountable for what they say online. And I don't think that's necessarily the best way for me personally.
Don't let them fool you with that sweet cartoon character.
Yeah,
yeah. Exactly.
It's about when you have a social media account and you're able to you can project any kind of image you want, right? So you can pretend that you're, you know, some buff 6'4" freaking bodybuilder, when you're really just a nerd in your mom's basement that, you know, couldn't climb a gym rope. You know? So it's about
catfishing.
Yes, in a way it is, you know. It is.
It's just a different way of going about it.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That's actually accurate. I like the way that you said that. So
I still haven't seen the show. I know we had a whole episode on catfishing, and you said that there was an MTV show. I can't bring myself to watch it. My mom even had a conversation.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. I like it. I just
can't like lose faith in people that much.
When you're watching it, you kind of have to suspend reality. Like you understand. Now I don't watch it all the time, but sometimes I'll click it on and watch 2 or 3 episodes. Every few months or something like that. I'm just kidding. I have a nonstop subscription. It's
yeah. I was gonna say he's got them all downloaded. He watches them on.
But it's something my wife and I can watch together. It's pretty funny or whatever. But my whole thing is kind of. I always kind of want to be a real person, just like you were talking about. People they can ask me real questions and they'll get real answers. And like there's been people in my community that were just random people in my community that are now like friends of mine, like Armando that was just on the show this week and stuff. So well, let's move on. Let's talk about something that I think is probably a frustration that you have, and I've definitely had as well over the last couple months. Maybe for me, it's changed like a tiny bit. But what is the frustration level when you're making content and like for some reason you're struggling to get people to watch it? Doesn't it feel kind of like, all because of the bear market, I believe. But for us, we're smaller content creators, right? Yeah. I mean, we're not 50,000 subs and up, 10,000 subs and up. I'm not there yet. Sometimes you make a video and you feel like it's so good and then it only gets a couple hundred views or whatever it may be, So what is that like, and how can you kind of encourage people that may want to create content, but there's such a grind at the start to try to get an audience?
Well, that's a good point. First I would say we're doing this. If you're talking about 2018 to right now, we're doing this in a bear market. So I think that anybody starting in a bear market or starting a project in a bear market or doing content in a bear market, you got to understand the interest is just at all-time low. And, these big numbers that a lot of these people have, that you're talking about 50K subs, 100K subs, I can guarantee you that most of those subs are not watching their content 100%. Right now.
Well, not 100%.
Or they were bought.
I agree 100%.
And paid for. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's definitely true. But in general, I think a lot of people like me and you, we've scratched our way during this bear market. And every sub I get, I cherish, That's somebody that hopefully really is following my journey and participating and, wants to be a part of the community and wants to learn together with me. But it is hard. It is hard to continue to create content on a constant basis. And then you're right, only 100 people watch it or only, 200 people watch it. Because like you said, it's not like we're getting paid the big bucks. Maybe some people think that. Maybe they think, oh man, those guys making those YouTube videos, they're just getting paid. And it's like, well, when we're at this level, every once in a while, maybe you get a little bit of something here and there. Maybe you get a couple referrals because you show somebody a really great product or website that helps them along their journey. Or maybe you have someone reach out to you and they really like you as a person. They want you, to pay you to do a review or something, but it's not that often for us. And so to even, consistently put out content like you guys are doing with this amazing podcast and, what a lot of our other friends are doing in general, it's a rough go, because we want to be consistent for the people who are still around who are doing it. But, sometimes it can be discouraging when no one reads your articles or no one watches your videos. But, at the same time, I also look at it like, well, yeah, it'd be great if I had more people do it, but at least I had 100, man. If I could reach all 100 of those people and I truly help them, I mean, that actually makes me feel really good. So that's a redeeming quality that I was looking at. And obviously I learn too. So when I do these videos, it makes me, a little bit better at speaking on camera or a little bit better at delivering, a very simplified topic or it's delivering it in a simplified way that's very complicated topic. And so, just being able to know that I've at least helped some people get to that journey, that's great. And it would be amazing to have it to be thousands and thousands for each video or thousands and thousands for each piece of content you put out. But I don't think that's really realistic. I like the consistency and I like being consistent. Like I try and put out 3 pieces of content every week. Now that pales in comparison to the great bitboy here who, is putting out like a piece of content almost every day. And there's a lot of content creators that do that. And they're like every day on top of it. And I envy you guys. Like, I honestly don't know how you can do it. I work really hard in my other business. So it's a little bit hard for me to find enough time to do crypto stuff every day. But, even with the 3 pieces of content I do, I still feel like, maybe sometimes they're undervalued. I'm like, oh, that was a great video. Like I did this video about this service called Lolly. And it's kind of like Ebates. If you know Ebates, where you shop around, it's a little browser extension and you get money back. Well, this one gives you Bitcoin back when you shop at popular places. And I did this video about them. And I'm like, man, this is such a great, cool, amazing service. I can't believe more people are not talking about this, on like basic things like you're booking flights, or you're buying some of these popular brands like Macy's and some other, very popular spots. You can get Bitcoin back for that. And like, it just never really got a lot of traction. But then I get some crazy videos that, that do get traction. And I'm just like, wow, And then BitBoy's like, you got to be more sensational, man. You got to get that headline and sell them. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I tried.
It sucks.
But,
I hate it. I hate it. I had somebody who attacked me on one of my videos because, the name of the video was $544 trillion into crypto. And I mean, that's the truth. I mean, the article, if you really looked at the article, it said, basically the idea is all assets become tokenized. And if all assets become tokenized, then $544 trillion comes into crypto. But I was very clear on the video, like, yeah, just because we're tokenizing things doesn't mean that your bag of Tron is going to go up. Like, and a lot of people don't really understand that. But the thing is, I had to make that sensational headline because that's what gets people to watch the videos, Like, and somebody attacked me. I was like, dude, I promise when YouTube starts rewarding me for my content over my titles, I will change it. Because I hate it. I hate putting my face on thumbnails. I mean, the way we do it on the Beards and Bitcoin, the way jchains does it on our thumbnails is pretty good. It's subtle, but like I always got to make a weird face and put it on there because because YouTube doesn't necessarily reward you for having a face on your thumbnail, but people are more likely to click on something with a face, especially if they know who you are. They're like, oh, this is a BitBoy video, And
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
I hate doing it though.
But you're right. I think that's a good point too for new content creators. Sometimes I feel like you get pigeonholed because you see, oh, well, what is everybody else doing? I'm going to do it like that. Yeah. And I started to do that at some point too. I kind of take a little bit from somebody here and say, oh, well, if they're doing this, maybe I could do something similar. But I've kind of tried to find my own groove, my own way of doing things. And you know what? A lot of times it's against some of those things, like you're saying, where I don't do like sensational headlines. Sometimes I do.
That's the word. Clickbait.
My face on it, but
clickbait.
But yeah, kind of clickbaity, right? I try and avoid the clickbaity stuff. I just try and be very straightforward, informational, and as impartial as I can be, so I can present the information to people so they can learn effectively. But I do love putting my face on those thumbnails because, I mean, come on, guys.
Look at that thing.
Look at that. Look at that mustache.
That's one thing we all gotta agree on is we all have beautiful faces.
It's true.
Y'all are good looking. I'm good looking. It's really just perfect. 3 men with facial hair here,
Yeah.
3 alpha males in here, just
can't
chilling.
beat it. Can we call this episode "Beards, Stashes, and Bitcoin"? Just this one?
Facial hair and bitcoins.
Facial hair and bitcoins.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play with the title a little.
Yeah, we might. We need to make it a little more clickbaity, I'm sure. So
yeah.
But yeah, and it's a frustrating thing though, having to do it. I've kind of gotten used to it now at this point. I try not to be too misleading. I feel like if it's a clickbaity title and it's something I feel like I can't, like, it's not something that I've twisted into words that's true, but it's like 544 trillion into crypto, ? Like, I always put a question mark at the end. Like, somehow that makes it a little bit better. Like, I told you, 544, so, but yeah,
but it's hard. I mean, and I get it. That's what I'm saying. I think people do that too because it is becoming this point where we're in a bear market. Interest is kind of low. So, when you see something like that, and people are flipping through the, like you said, 200 or so content creators that are doing this type of content. Well, that may poke out and catch their eye more than somebody else's educational video or more than somebody else's, news video or whatever it may be. That is just a straight up title of exactly what it is. And so, yeah, being a content creator is not easy. And, I think a lot of people who are doing it right now are doing it because they do truly believe in the space. They love their community. They love what they're doing like we do. Otherwise, they're gone. The ones who don't, that were just trying to come up real quick, who did maybe even get 50,000, 100,000 subs, they're gone, man. The scammers, they shook out because there's nobody to scam anymore. All the people who got scammed now have been scammed. They've gone through it. They've understood. They've learned. They've grown, and I think that's hopefully due to people like me and you who trying to help people avoid scams and avoid some of this stuff that are easy pitfalls for beginners coming into the space.
We say it all the time. Not your keys, not your crypto. Just protect your keys.
Gotta protect them. It's funny. I was at church on Sunday, and I'm in a little small group with my church. And we were talking about the monopoly Do you guys know this? The Monopoly game at McDonald's was rigged for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a crazy story. I couldn't believe somebody in there like knew the story, you know? And then some guy who knows I was into crypto, he was like, wait, did you hear about that crazy like guy who died and lost all the crypto? And he was talking about the Quadriga stuff.
Yeah.
You know, on the exchange or whatever.
That made big news, man. I had non-crypto people ask me about that.
Yeah, I did. I've had several non-crypto. My DirecTV guy who came and installed my DirecTV at my new house. You know, he's like, oh, you're into crypto. You know, he saw one of my BitBoy hats or whatever. And like people think it's just a Bitcoin symbol that don't know anything about Bitcoin.
Sure.
And asked me about it. And he was like, what about this exchange thing? Or, you know, somebody asked me, family member asked me about it. And then somebody at church asked me about it. And it was just like so much, man, of, you know, that story getting out. And it just really, the guy, so in the small group I was in, he tried to communicate the story to the rest of the people in the small group. And he knows a little bit about crypto. He's invested a little bit. I've known the guy for a while. And he said, it's kind of like if you had a password and then you died and didn't give the password to anybody. I was like, oh, yeah, it's
pretty much,
pretty close. You know, we say private keys, but to your average person, like they just,
it's a password.
It's a password.
Yeah, essentially.
So
a really long, crazy, you know, jumbled password. It's
you can never memorize.
Right. And so that's when I try and do educational stuff, I try and relate things that most people know into crypto terms like that. And so, you know, in like a lot of my presentations and some of the courses and stuff that I do, and that's the way I kind of approach it. You know, here's kind of what you already know. Here's how it is now. Here's why this sucks now. And here's why this is better, how it kind of relates. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty simple way of people saying it. It's like, well, hey, what if, you know, you had a safe deposit box and then you lost the key and no one could ever get it because you're the only one that has the key and they won't release it. The bank's never going to give it to anybody else because, you know, and I mean, obviously there's things in place for stuff like that, but similar happens with like a will. You think about like people who don't leave a will and they have all this huge estate and then like, well, what happens? Well, now the 10 family members go to court and they're suing each other to get all the money and, you know, it's a shit show. So,
or they have a lot of debt.
Or they have a lot of debt. They gotta figure nobody wants that.
Nobody wants to take that on.
Well, cool, guys. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of the episode here. So, Stash, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys can find me on my website. That's my home base. That's where I'm at. All my content is there. It's CryptoStache.com. It's STACHE, like mustache.com. And then you can find me on YouTube. You can definitely get my YouTube channel direct there. And I'm on Crypto Twitter as well. And places like Steemit and Facebook, and it's all at CryptoStache, so you can find me there. And definitely go join my club too. We call it the Stash Club, and it's the little community we're building. And you can sign up on my website there, and you get my emails and try and help you with any of the things that you need help with. Very approachable.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
It was great to have you on. It was great to hear kind of what you're doing. We appreciate it, and actually would love to talk to you again sometime. We are going to do a contest this week. We haven't done a contest in a while, right?
It's been a hot second.
All right.
Is that a ledger? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, we're going to give one of these away this week. We'll have all the details for all the details in the post of the show.
Love me a good giveaway, guys. Love doing the giveaways. They're fun.
Oh yeah.
It is fun. It gets people excited in a bear market.
Yeah.
Give you something to look forward to.
Here's this hardware wallet where you can hold all of the coins you don't have.
That you want to have, that you can learn how to store on there.
There you go. And
do it.
Heard Cardano support on the ledger is supposed to be coming fairly soon. So I saw Charles Hoskinson talking about that last night on Crypto Cantor's channel. So, well, I guess that is all that we got for today. You guys be watching out for our contest. Thank you to the Stash for joining us. Big shout out to our Crypto Twitter shout out segment sponsor, monarchtoken.io. And we will see you guys later.
We will see you next time.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening to Beards and Bitcoins. If you like what you heard, show these guys some love and rate review on SoundCloud or iTunes. Also, remember you can always find the guys on social media. The show Twitter page is @BeardsBitcoins. You'll find direct links to BitBoy and jchains from there. Make sure you check for updates, announcements, and contests. Good luck to all who enter. See you next time.